What is going on, guys? My name is Simzel, and the second official trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day has finally dropped, and man, just when I thought they couldn't top the first one, they somehow used some Marvel magic and managed to absolutely blow the first one out of the water. This one had so much more juicy contents within it, which I cannot wait to get into in this video today. So where do we even start? Let's start with this Scorpion fight. It looks like a really intense battle between the two. At first, it looks like Scorpion's getting the upper hand over Spider-Man, but as we see, Peter's mutation kicks in with his eyes turning black, and he absolutely tanks Scorpion into a police car. So his mutation has made him become more animalistic and violent. Since his eyes have turned black, he's able to quickly win over the fight, slamming Scorpion into the police car with little to no effort or remorse. And this is backed up with Peter saying that he's losing control and he's kind of scared of himself. And there's a really cool shot of Spider-Man looking quite frightening as he stands with the shadows, making him look more menacing and less like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Also, I just have to say, this suit continues to look so good. It may be the best live-action Spider-Man costume we've gotten. It's quickly getting up there. Now, I don't think that we're going to get the full-blown man-spider transformation in this film. In the first trailer, it seemed more plausible, but here it seems less likely that they're going to do the whole 6 extra arm thing. No giant spider creature running around New York. But I do think we'll get pretty close to that. An animalistic Spider-Man that's growing stronger and more impulsive. A version of Peter who borders on becoming Man-Spider without fully crossing that line. And Scorpion looks amazing in this trailer. His suit looks so peak. It doesn't seem like he'll be getting a mask or a helmet, which does suck a little bit but everything else about it looks fantastic. It looks like the tail can extend and segment itself a bit, kinda like the concept art that was leaked. And despite not having a mask, it does allow for Michael Mando to use his face a lot more to show off those manic expressions that just rarely suit Scorpion. I do hope that they keep Scorpion around after this film though. I do hope that he has a role in a future Spider-Man film, especially if Spider-Man defeats him so quickly. It would be cool if he became like Venom later down the line, since Matt Gargan is a host for Venom at one point in the comics. And after all, we did get that tease from Michael Mando on his Instagram story, so it's not out the realm of possibility. And I just think it would be good for Spider-Man to have some reoccurring villains, instead of them being killed off after one outing. That's why I like the Vulture so much. He's still alive and he's out there somewhere, and hopefully he could return eventually in a future sequel. Let's be honest, we're not counting the Morbius ending as any form of canon, okay? It didn't happen, okay? It would really build up a nice set of rogues that could keep coming back like they do in the shows and the comic books. And if Sony want to keep setting up their Sinister Six saga, then why wouldn't they want to keep some of the villains around? Now, let's talk about Sadie Sink. Who is she playing, man? There's two camps of people. Those who believe that she's playing the villain Shathra, or those who think she's Jean Grey. Me personally, I think she's Jean Grey, just because there's too much evidence to believe otherwise. Sadie Sink is set to return in Avengers Secret Wars, so if she is playing Shathra, why would she be returning in an Avengers movie, It just makes more sense for an X-Men character to show up, and then set her up for the mutant saga that comes after Secret Wars. Anyways, we get more of these little strange telepathic abilities that she has. She's body swapping, and it seems like she has quite a villainous role in the film. Which, if she is Jean Grey, it is quite strange and unnatural. But you do have to remember that this is a world where the X-Men haven't formed yet. Charles Xavier hasn't found Jean and brought her into his school, and taught her how to control her powers for good. So we could be dealing with a morally estranged version of Jean Grey, before she eventually joins the X-Men and fights the good fight. Do I think she's the main villain of the film? No, I don't. I think she'll be some sort of threat for the majority of the story. But I do think there's going to be a bigger threat at play. What is this threat? I don't know. It could be Scorpion, of course it'd be Tombstone, it could even be the Hand. Heck, there's even rumours that the Jackal will be in this, so who knows. But I do think that somewhere along in the story, Jean will be steered away from the morally ambiguous path and onto one for good. We'll probably have Peter having to step up and be some sort of mentor figure for her, and then teach her how to be a hero. One interesting thing about Sadie's character is that she seems to know Peter's connection to MJ. Could she be the one to restore her memories? We've seen Jean Grey do something similar in the old X-Men movies, where she helped Logan regain his lost memories, so something similar could happen here. Perhaps at the end, once the day's saved, and Peter's put Jean on the right path, she kinda rewards him by giving MJ her lost memories. Now obviously this is all just speculation. Sony and Marvel are deliberately toying with us by keeping Sadie's character a mystery, but everything that we've got from her in these trailers and little teasers, it does make me believe more and more that she is Jean Grey of the MCU. Because if she is just Shathra, why would they be hiding her this much? The Hulk is back, finally, and man, he looks incredible. There's no more Smart Hulk, there's no more bland characterization, there's no more dabbing.
Damn.
The big green beast is back and he is feral. It's pretty much confirmed that Bruce Banner loses control over his Hulk persona thanks to Jean's mind manipulation and the loss of his wristwatch thing that keeps his gamma mutation in check, and we get to see Spider-Man face off against him, which looks so terrifying from Peter's perspective. Seeing the Hulk charge up a thunderclap and absolutely send him flying across the room is so insane to see. It's really giving me 2012 Avengers vibes, where Hulk chases Black Widow through the helicarrier, and there's a whole sequence in which we see the two fall from a tumbling building, which is exactly like the Lego set that released for this film. That is the Hulk bursting through a building, causing the walls to explode outward. So it's nice to see that the Lego sets are actually being based on the scenes in the film and not just some random BS like wherever this was. So I'm really excited to see how these scenes with the Hulk end up looking in the movie. Spider-Man having to stop an unstoppable force like a Savage Hulk is easily going to be an iconic moment that'll be remembered for years. The thing that I love the most about this movie is that we're getting to see Peter Parker completely alone. He has to stand back and watch his once best friends continue their lives and grow without him. Scrolling through their social media, keeping tabs on them from a distance. All while he remains stuck, his own life has stopped moving forward. He's focused on his Spider-Man life, and Peter Parker has become a second thought. And that's such a Spider-Man thing. Everyone around him gets to evolve, but he has to stay behind, sacrificing his own happiness because he thinks it's the right thing to do. It's pretty much the opposite of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2. In that film, it was Peter losing his powers and then choosing to give up Spider-Man. But here, it's Peter's powers growing more powerful, and he's choosing to give up Peter Parker instead. There's also a scene in which we see Spider-Man desperately trying to rescue MJ from some kind of danger. First of all, MJ seems to trust Spider-Man pretty quickly, and this does make sense since she is familiar with him in the past. He saved her and Ned countless times in London from Far From Home, and at the Statue of Liberty in No Way Home. So having him go to her and want her to trust him, only for her to accept and go with him that easily, it makes a lot of sense. And it is an interesting aspect of this movie. MJ and Ned know of Spider-Man and have that connection with him, but they don't know how or why. And secondly, Peter never takes off his mask during their interactions, like at all. Now this could just be for the scenes in the trailer, but it seems like Peter is deliberately hiding who he is, even from the woman he loves. Another demonstration of Peter sacrificing his own happiness to keep those he cares about safe. But this does make me wonder if he will reveal his identity to her at some point in the film. In my opinion, I think it would be better if she didn't find out and have this whole spell be undone by the end. I'd like to see this have some lasting impact on Tom's Peter Parker. It would be interesting to see Peter have to learn to let go of Ned and MJ and let them be, and then actually move on and start afresh. Perhaps he meets a Gwen Stacy or a Harry Osborn, or even an alternate take on Eddie Brock. I think that would be quite interesting to see. And speaking of Ned, it does seem like he's the one responsible for that Spider-Man wall we saw, with all the pinned photos and news clippings. He's the one leading the investigation into who Spider-Man is. And before this trailer came out, there was a short video that dropped, which had Ned basically promote a Spidey tracker website that he created, and is the official CEO of...
I'm looking at porn.
And it seems that this will have some sort of relevance in the story, since Ned is tracking Spider-Man's movements and trying to work out who he is behind that mask. And apparently, in a scene that was shown at CinemaCon, it was reported that Ned and MJ believe Spider-Man to either be Flash Thompson or Mr. Harrington, which I do find quite hilarious. I wonder if Flash will actually appear in this at some point. Nah, probably not. A thing I really noticed with Peter's new suit is that it seems to have some kind of HUD system built into it, which is very reminiscent of the Insomniac games, but Peter also had his own display system within his mask. Peter Parker is a genius. He's one of the smartest people in the Marvel Universe. It's not hard to believe that he was able to create his own tech like a HUD display, and his own AI companion. Thanks to those release script pages, which tell us that Peter programmed his own bare-bones AI system called EV that aids him in his missions. And it honestly makes sense for this version of Peter. He worked alongside Tony Stark in the Avengers. He tinkered with advanced Stark tech and implemented it into his own suits in the past films. Now he's on his own without all the toys handed to him. It makes total sense that he'd one day just make his own. And I don't dislike that. I think it's a solid choice. Just as long as Peter created it himself, using his own resources, then I'm cool with it. Frank Castle appears a lot more in this trailer this time. In the previous one, he was chasing down the armoured tank and seemed a little hostile towards Peter, and we get some more scenes like that. I do believe he'll be protecting Sadie Sink's character from damage control, since that has become Frank's thing. He has a father-daughter complex with a bunch of different characters. He had one with Amy Bendix in the Netflix Punisher series, then he kinda had one in One Last Kill with the daughter of the shop owner that reminds him of his own daughter. and it seems like it'll be happening again in Brand New Day. I'm really curious to see what Punisher's role will be here, especially considering that the interactions between Frank and Peter are what Tom Holland is excited for the fans to see. I don't blame him. If they're anything like the debates between Frank and Matt Murdock in the Daredevil show, then we are in for a good old time. And throughout a certain part of this trailer, we get to hear the voice of Aunt May, which is very interesting. She talks to Peter about how the people that love him for who he is, no matter how powerful he is. Could we be getting flashbacks? Possibly after May discovered that he was Spider-Man in Homecoming? That would be cool to see how that went down, since it was kind of skipped over in Far From Home. Or could it be a dream sequence, like how Peter would see Uncle Ben in a dream in the Tobey films? Either way, seeing Marissa Tomei's Aunt May come back in some form would be such an emotional and heartfelt scene, especially since she's delivering Peter some wisdom that he desperately needs to hear. And then, there's the hand. Judging from trailers and other promotional material for Brand New Day, it seems like the hand will have a large part in the story. There was a rumored plot leak that came out that said that they're searching for a host for the Beast, who is their leader, and they believe Spider-Man would be a fitting choice. Obviously, Spider-Man isn't going to accept this and become the Beast willingly, which would then lead to them battling it out in the prison. Now this does sound insane, but perhaps with his mutating powers, the Hand believe this to be a reason why he'd be perfect as their leader. And the fight scenes we get of Spider-Man against the Hand are spectacular. We know Jackie Chan's stunt team are working on this film, so the fight choreography will be on point. And from what we got so far, it doesn't disappoint. We even get to see Peter's mutated organic webs kick in, as he performs some kind of web blossom that entraps a bunch of Hand assassins, and it looks so cool. I can't wait to see Tom's Peter learn to adapt to organic webs, especially considering how grossed out he and Andrew were in No Way Home, when Tobey revealed his webs were organic. Now, there is a theory that Peter will end up dying at the end of this movie, and with a statement from Destin Daniel Cretton, which says that fans should treat this Spider-Man movie like it's the last one, it does make you wonder, could he die here? Do I think he will? Maybe. I could see a world in which he does, but if so, we all know it wouldn't be permanent. We all know he's coming back around for either Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars. Maybe Jean revives him at the end, or maybe he'll bond with the black suit in the post-credit scene. Either way, his death won't be a permanent thing. Tom Holland himself has said he'd love to keep making Spider-Man films for as long as anyone would have him. He ain't going anywhere anytime soon, which I am happy with. I want at least a second trilogy out of this Peter Parker, if not more. But there you have it, the second trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it has me sold completely. The more I see, the more I love everything about this movie. From the colour grading to the suit, the action looks phenomenal, Scorpion looks promising, and the Hulk looks terrifyingly awesome. And I genuinely do believe that this could end up being Tom Holland's best Spider-Man movie. The only concern I do have is that they may be juggling too many ideas at once. They've got a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and I hope they don't accidentally burn down the whole place, trying to make a quote-unquote perfect Spider-Man film. There is a lot going on, but I have faith that they'll pull it off. We have something really special on our hands here, and I hope that by July 29th I can say that we have a phenomenal Spider-Man movie that has what it takes to even be the greatest of all time. But what do you guys think? Did this second trailer win you over? Are you excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day? Which villain are you most excited for? Let me know all your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And with that being said, I've been Simzel, take care, and I'll see you all in a bit.